If you're feeling depleted, cravings, you're hungry or hangry, getting off of that energy, that energy depletion, blood sugar roller coaster, it may feel a little bit uncomfortable that first week because, again, if you've got blood sugar variability that is all over the place, crashing and spiking and crashing and spiking, that it's going to feel a little turbulent. But how I always start is I always start with your morning, right? So in your morning, it really sets the tone for what's going to happen, and hence why I got on the blood sugar roller coaster every single morning with my coffee and sugar and my whatever it was that just set the tone for the rest of the day. So just know that your breakfast is going to set the tone for the rest of the day. So swap out that sugar for cinnamon, or just go straight black when it comes to coffee or tea. Next, you want to make sure that you're having a savory breakfast, and we're talking about protein, fats, fiber. That's going to be the key. So if you're going to have dessert or you're going to want dessert, breakfast is not the time to do it. There's going to be other opportunities if that's got to go down. Next, my recommendation is that you always want to be eating protein, fiber, and fat before you eat any carbs or starches, refined carbs or starches. And ideally, start with the veggie starter. Start with the salad, start with roasted broccoli, roasted vegetables, and then move into your protein and fats, and then finish the meal with those carbs. Now, if indeed you have dessert, or you have an amazing amount of carbs that day as well with that meal, then take a walk. I always recommend walking after every single meal. And you could do jump squats, you could run upstairs. There's a lot of different things that you can do, but walking, I think, is such a really gentle way to still be in that rest and digest. And I recommend walking anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes. And that's going to help to lower that blood sugar spike as well. And then the other things that I recommend are going to be apple cider vinegar. So a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar in water a couple minutes before you have something starchy or carby or desserty. And if you're not a fan of that, then berberine, 500 milligrams of berberine is a great super herb that will help to curb that blood sugar spike as well. And then the other thing is, if ever you are going to have carbs or dessert, don't have them as a standalone. So don't have that. Like, that was my snack. I was literally doing a carb snack with coffee at 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And it was no wonder I had a blood sugar spike, because there was nothing helping to dress up those carbs to help blunt that blood sugar response. So let's say you do want the potato chips or the tortilla chips. Pair that with some meat of some kind, pair it with some veggies of some kind, or pair it with some nuts. Do something that's going to help to help lessen that blood sugar spike. And the reason why veggies are so important is that they decrease the amount of blood going from the intestine into the bloodstream. And then when it comes to fats and proteins, they actually slow down the gastric release of those carbs and sugars into the intestine, so that they slow down to the bloodstream. So these are all, and the beautiful thing is, any of these hacks, you can incorporate them, you can stack them. You could dress up your carbs with fat and fiber and protein, and then take a walk. You could do apple cider vinegar, have your dessert after a meal, and then take a walk. All of these things you can really play with, so that you are helping to stabilize your blood sugar. But at the end of the day, one of the biggest things I recommend is just to cut as many refined carbs and sugars as possible at the end of the day, especially if they come in liquid form. That will hit you faster than anything. And I tested it. I remember wearing a CGM, and my husband and I got like a vanilla latte at Starbucks. And because we both wanted to see, we were like, what happens when we do this?
Yes.
And I think we drank, they were both smalls, and I don't even think we drank even half of them.
Wow.
And we watched our blood sugar go up 80 points, 80 milligrams per deciliter in 15 minutes. 15 minutes. Like, that is insane. So just note that Coca-Cola, that Frappuccino, that icy drink, ice cream, milkshake, and sweet tea, whatever it is that you're drinking, that if it's got sugar in it, guaranteed blood sugar spike, and then guaranteed crash. And the other thing I really wanted to emphasize is that crash that you experience, that you get, it's going to just want you eating more. It's going to it's going to set the tone for you to want to eat more. But also, when you have a blood sugar spike and crash that big, it takes not hours, not a day, but sometimes 2 to 3 days to recover your normal fasting blood glucose from that crash. And so just note that a lot of us, we don't say, oh, we had that dessert last night. let's take 3 days off. Let's just get our blood sugar back to normal and then we can get back to it. So many of us don't even know that we're just chasing the tail of these blood sugar spikes and crashes. And so I just want you to know that if you choose, if you're like, I'm going to eat that gelato, I'm going to take a walk, but I'm going to eat that gelato, that it is going to take 2 days or so, depending on your unique chemistry, to recover blood sugar wise from that gelato.
Keep reaching to feel better, because the world needs you to feel good so you can share that very special gift that only you have. And if you want more, check out my next video here.